Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you for tuning in. The theme of this episode is relationship drama with updates. Yes, I'm going to say it every time. The title of the first story is Am I the asshole for saying if my wife wants to be a trad wife, then she must always look her best, wait on me, and provide sex without question when asked? Oh gosh. And this was written June 5th. I'm 35 and my wife is 40. We've been together for 15 years. The last couple of years, she's really fell down the trad wife black hole and it's driving me crazy. At first, it started off with her saying she doesn't want to work anymore. And lately, it has escalated to saying men who make their wives work are abusive. We both have well-paid jobs. I'm a self-employed builder with a team and earn around $100K a year. She works in management for the NHS and earns around $50K a year. We both work. I guess I should say worked for her really hard and have no kids, and 3 years ago managed to pay off our mortgage and lived in a nice enough area where I would have happily stayed forever. She, however, suddenly wanted a massive house that we didn't need. I should have saw that one coming. She was looking at a $700,000 house, which would require a mortgage of $500,000 after we sold our house. I gave in and we bought a house. She then wanted a new car, which again, I caved to, and she got a car that is worth more than she earns in a year. She then decided she didn't want to work anymore. She said her job was crap, and I said, take a lower paid one that you'll enjoy more. She said no. She just doesn't want to work, full stop. She also doesn't want to give up anything that she has. Over the past couple of years, it has been obvious she is trying to lose her job without leaving, despite me saying that I can't afford the house and the car and holidays all on my own. She started bringing this trad wife crap up, but said that she'd want to hire a cleaner as the house is too big for her to clean alone and she prefers my cooking to hers, so I'll still do all of the cooking. So I said, you basically want to dress up pretty and bake the odd cake. She stormed off and said, I don't get it. She again brought it up yesterday and I said, fine, she can do it, but she's got to get up before me and make sure my breakfast is ready like in the videos she watches. She's got to be dressed as a sexy version of a 50s housewife like in the videos she watches from the moment I open my eyes to the moment I close them. The house must be spotless at all times like in the videos that she watches. I want huge packed lunches for work like in the videos she watches. I want to come home and have beautiful pies and cakes ready for pudding like in the videos she watches. I want a bath ran for when I get in and then come down to a proper meal every single night. I then want a foot rub while I eat the cakes and the pies she makes like in the videos she watches. And I also want sex on demand. How I want it, when I want it. Exactly like in all the videos she watches. She called me an abusive, a user, sexist, etc. and stormed out to her equally delusional sister's house. Don't get me started on her. I'll be honest, I'm ready for divorce if this carries on. Am I the asshole? Why was I on her side in the beginning? The title, I was kind of on her side. I was like, why can't a girl be a trad wife and you not expect to have like sex at every single demand? But then reading this story, no, you're not the asshole. This girl needs to get a damn grip, girl. What the hell? Because a relationship is supposed to be like 100%, 100%. And I get what he was doing. Obviously, he wasn't being serious. He's just like joking, being like, well, if you want that, if you want this lifestyle that you watch all the time, then you have to do exactly as those people do. So honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm on a man's side. I'm on the man's side. Actually, let me whisper that. I'm on the man's side. I don't want anyone to hear me too loud. If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you. Relevant comments. Get the divorce, mate. It'll be cheaper and less stressful than dealing with a crazy wife every minute of the day and night. It's not about the trad wife lifestyle. She simply just doesn't want to work. She merely wants to sit on her backside, enjoy the things she has badgered you into paying for, and do nothing. There's a lot of this crazy going around. It won't get any better. What will it be next? Vacations on the French Riviera? A bigger, nicer, more expensive car? The list goes on. I think it would be fine if she was like, hey, I really want to stay home and like do the cleaning and the cooking, and I want to be like a traditional wife who takes care of the home while the husband works. That is fine to me. If that's what you want, if that's the life you want, by all means. do as you please. But to be like, I actually want to be a stay-at-home wife, but I don't want to do any of the cooking, any of the cleaning. I just want to sit on the couch, and you have to buy me an expensive house and an expensive car and all this stuff. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what kind of relationship is that it's like so not balanced in the slightest. Update. This is 5 days later. I'd like to answer a few questions from my first post before an update. No, my requests were not serious, and I can't believe how many people thought that they were. It was me trying to prove a point of how ridiculous she's being. Like I said in the comments, I don't want a maid or a slave. I want a partner. Before my wife got on this train, she was very ambitious, career-driven person who wanted to climb to the top. She was never really on social media until the pandemic. The trad wife thing started a couple of years ago. A lot of people suggested couples counseling. I've asked many times, and I always get the same response. I don't need counseling. There's nothing wrong with me. On to the update. We spoke Saturday morning, and I told her that I can't go on like this. I said to her bluntly, the trad wife thing is never happening, and she either accepts it and we go to couples counseling, or we split up. I'm done dancing around her bullshit. She chose to split up. I asked her if she even really wanted to be a trad wife, or if she's just trying to force me away, like she's trying to force her job to sack her because she doesn't have the balls to quit herself. She said yes, she does, and there's plenty of dating sites that cater to this dynamic. I told her I'd seen them, and they are more sugar daddy dynamics, and without being horrible, she's too old for that. This set her off. She said I'm wrong, and that I'm the one who can't support my wife, so I'm the bad one in the marriage, and a real man would be able to give her the life that she wants. She was shouting and screaming this at the top of her lungs. It's about the only time I've been glad to be in our new house, so the neighbors didn't hear. I got a bit petty at the real man comment and said, quote, you can't cook, you can't clean, and you don't have sex. What part of being a trad wife do you offer? I then stole a comment from my last post and said she doesn't want to be a trad wife, she wants to be a trophy wife. She just said I'm unbelievable and has gone to her sisters again. I'm going to take the next couple of weeks and start talking to a divorce lawyer to see what this entails. Then once this ball has got me rolling, I'm fucking off to Portugal for a couple of weeks by myself. This girl sounds actually insufferable. She sounds insufferable. I mean, go find that man, girl. To be honest, I'm sure you could find someone that could offer you that. I'm sure you could. I'm not really sure how happy you would be in that relationship. Maybe you would be. I don't know. It sounds like it's their time to split up. Someone said a marriage is a partnership, not a service package. Good luck with your journey towards finding a true equal. Agreed. I want a partnership, not a business arrangement. Yeah, you two are just not compatible. Good luck with your journey towards finding your other half, who will actually discuss things with you instead of name-calling and gaslighting. Agreed. It's heartbreaking. I miss the woman my wife was so much. She was an inspiration to me. Was there something that triggered the change in your wife? The pandemic, when she started spending all day on social media and then seeing her niece make $500,000 a year from OnlyFans. It turned her bitter. Then she should get on, make a spicy site, and do what her niece is doing. I'm sure that she could make some money from it. Someone said, I really, really struggle to understand how this lady expects things will work out for her. Who is going to pay for everything? Imaginary trad husband. I worry for whatever she managed in the NHS. Classic NHS manager, to be honest. He also says she's trying to get fired. Good luck with that. It's incredibly hard to fire anyone in the NHS. She'll be bumbling along, having performance reviews for years before anything happens, unless she does something criminal. I feel like she would. She definitely would. The title of the next story is, my boyfriend, 29 male, is going to propose, but I, 29 female, do not feel loved anymore, and I'm questioning the relationship. My boyfriend and I have been together for a very long time. We dated from the time we were 16 to 22. We then broke up for a while, but we got back together when we were 25 and we're both 29 now. We live together, and I know he's going to ask me to marry him soon, so I want to get my feelings in order before anything happens. I love him. I really do. But I feel sort of unloved. I know once couples become comfortable with each other and live together, the spark or whatever dies, but I don't like feeling like this. I still make an effort. I ask him how his day went. I'm affectionate. I put out, so to speak. A thing that really bothers me is when I say something, a lot of the time he ignores me. When I bring it up, he says that he didn't hear me or that he was busy. For example, I'll say, quote, Did you see there's going to be an airstrike tomorrow? And I won't get a reply. I'll wait 10 seconds, still no reply. Then I'll ask, hello? Did you hear what I said? And he'll go, or grunt in response. He does this often, just abrupt responses after ignoring me and me having to repeat myself. I'd understand if he did this if I was talking his ear off, but I'm not even a talkative person. Yet when he talks about anything, I pay attention, respond properly, validate his opinions, and reassure him when he needs me to. Affection-wise, I always give him hugs and kisses. He hardly ever does this anymore without me asking. I compliment him and tell him that he looks handsome. He hasn't complimented me in any shape or form in probably over a year now that I think about it. I still look the same looks-wise. I haven't gained weight or anything. Not that that's the reason to stop loving someone, but you know how some people are. So I don't know what changed. Have things just become stale? Is this what inevitably happens? This whole situation has been troubling for me for a while, but I'm not sure what to do. Our anniversary is in 2 months, and his sister accidentally let it slip that he's going to propose. If it weren't for that, I'd think that we've been together for too long and that he's now sick of me. I tried talking to a few of my friends who are already married, and all I got were varied versions of, that's how men are. He wasn't like this before. He would pay attention to me, talk to me, and overall, I just felt more liked, you know? Now it just feels one-sided. The one time I attempted to bring it up, I opened with, do you still like me? Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it. And he replied with, if I didn't like you, why would I be here? I could tell it was going to end up in an argument, so I just let it go after that. How do I handle this situation? I want to bring it up with him, but I don't know how to do it. I guess I'm not really good at articulating how I feel. Or should I not say anything because this is just the way a relationship goes? Please advise me because I'm a little lost. No, I don't agree. That's not just how men are. I think that if you find a good man, that's not how men are. A man is going to want to put in effort. And there's obviously going to be points in time when there's like stale parts in the relationship, but that's just like a matter of communicating, and then you pick it up and you try to make more effort. And it's like, yeah, you can't help that there are going to be lulls in the relationship, but if the person's not willing to work on that and put in more effort, then that person is just not meant to be in a relationship, period, but especially not with you. I hate the sentiment of like, oh, that's just how relationships are. That's just how men are. That's just this and this and this. And like, you're just making excuses for a man to behave that way when that's not how you want to be in a relationship. Like, no, you don't have to accept that type of behavior from someone just because people say that's just how men are. Why do we let them off the hook? No. Because by saying that, you're just implying like you can do whatever you want because that's just how you are. There's no reason for you to get better or be better in a relationship. That's so annoying. And no. Some relevant comments. You can't have an honest conversation about this without it turning into an argument. Red flag. Am I correct in guessing that this is a pattern, and whenever he doesn't want to discuss something difficult, it'll just turn into an argument, so you just drop it? If so, red flag. My partner just proposed to me less than a week ago, and I can promise you that your friends are just in unfulfilling relationships. I call my fiancé a literal angel every chance I get, because he is. Your dude feels comfortable and doesn't feel the need to put in any effort anymore. Could be because he's just going through the motions and he isn't really that into the relationship anymore. Or it could be because he doesn't feel like once you get to a certain point in a relationship, effort flies out the window. Neither scenario is good or how things should be. I think it's worth trying to speak with him again about it. But definitely don't commit to marrying this dude before you have an honest conversation. I so agree with this comment. You are in an unfulfilling relationship if that is the advice that you're giving, or if that is like how you are in a relationship. And I feel like a lot of times people are just like, oh no, like it's fine, I don't mind that kind of relationship. When in reality, I think if you had a better relationship and a better partner, you would realize how much you didn't like being in that unfulfilling relationship. I have a friend that always talks about like her relationship, like they are just not, like they don't like each other at all. And I'm just like confused because I'm like, so you don't like each other? Like I don't really get the point in being in a relationship where you don't like the person. Like I just don't understand that. Why would you even want to be in a relationship if you guys don't show love to each other ever? The update is a month later. I thought I would provide an update. Thank you all for the advice. I really appreciate it. So the day after I posted here, I talked to him. I told him that I feel a bit disconnected and I'd like it if he paid more attention to me and talked to me a little more. He just said, okay, but I could tell that he wasn't interested. The next day, there was no change and I was a bit annoyed, so I spoke to him again. I said that I'm starting to feel lonely in the relationship and I feel like he ignores me and isn't affectionate as he used to be before. But all he said was he didn't want to talk about it. I said that it was important and that I might want to end things if we can't talk about this. Only then did he actually pay attention. He said that he ignores me because he's tired. I understand that work is tiring, but he practically ignores me all of the time. And as far as the affection and attention, he said, I don't know, things just change, you know? I explained that I understood all of that, but I needed more. That maybe it was unreasonable for me to want that, and maybe the type of relationship I want doesn't exist, but I would not be happy in this relationship if things stayed this way. He then said he would try more. That he'd hug me every morning before work, try to respond more when I spoke, and give me a compliment every now and then. I didn't like how it felt like a list of chores he had to do, but at least he was willing to try, so I agreed. I also asked if there was anything I could work on for him, but he said there was nothing he could think of. By the end of the first week, he already seemed annoyed with the hugging. He'd let out a big sigh, and it seemed like he was doing it begrudgingly. This felt awful for me, like I'm forcing this man to give me a crumb of affection. But at least he was doing it, I guessed. My breaking point happened last week when we were getting ready to go to a party. It was his friend's party, and it was a fancy affair, so I had to get really dressed up. His niece and her boyfriend were also going, but came to our place because she needed help with her hair. She has gorgeous butt-length hair and wanted to curl it. As soon as her boyfriend saw her after getting ready, he said, "Wow, you look so beautiful. You look like a mermaid," and hugged her. No prompting, no asking. He just did it. That's when my boyfriend called me aside and said, "I guess I have to compliment you now, right?" That was it for me. I said that I was feeling sick and I needed to go to the bathroom. We were all supposed to leave together, but I stalled for a few minutes and told them I was sorry and that they should leave, and if and when I feel better, we would meet them there. As soon as they left, I spoke to him. I said that I was sorry I wasted his time, and I was so sorry that I didn't notice all of this sooner. I said that I appreciate his effort, and even though he was doing what I asked, it was not enough for me. I don't want to feel like a chore for someone. I understand that the honeymoon period / puppy love thing doesn't last forever, but I want someone to just like me, you know? To like me naturally and instinctively, as a person. After explaining that, I told him that I was sorry again and that I was ending things. He started freaking out and told me to think about it some more, but I was sure of my choice. He then said that he doesn't understand, and he's sorry and asked if I would still go with him to the party as our last night out, and also because he was going to be embarrassed to go alone. I felt bad because I didn't mean to do this on this day, and I didn't want to leave him hanging, so I agreed. I really didn't want to, but I went and we managed to keep up appearances. Then, in the middle of dinner, he proposed. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do, and I felt so trapped. I didn't want to embarrass him or myself, so I said yes. Everybody was congratulating us, and I was in hell. It all felt so awful, and it was difficult to not start crying out of frustration. In addition to us technically being broken up, he knows I hate being the center of attention in public like that. When we got home, I asked how he could do such a thing. How could he put me in such a terrible position? He said, "I thought maybe proposing would change your mind." I said that it didn't, and I just said yes because I would have been awkward if I hadn't. I gave him the ring back, packed some of my stuff, and left. He was freaking out, asking what he was going to tell everyone, but I told him to say whatever he wants. That I changed my mind, I'm flaky, whatever, I don't care. I was emotionally exhausted, and I just didn't care anymore. I feel awful, and I wish I could have handled that whole situation better or smarter, but I panicked, and now we're here. Everyone is probably going to think I'm a jerk, but I honestly don't know what to do. Anyways, things are over now, and I'm staying with my sister until I gather my bearings. He's been texting me, trying to convince me to reconsider. I honestly feel a little lost because he's the only boyfriend I've ever had, and he was such a big part of my life, but I know I made the right choice. I actually forgot the title of this story through this whole update and was actually bemused at the fact that this man or boy, shall I say, thought that that was okay. I mean, that is just toxic 101 behavior. That's ridiculous. And this reminds me so much of past relationships I've had. Just the feeling of needing to beg someone to like give you certain things that you want in a relationship that you just feel like are so easy. Like I just so easily give affection. I just so easily give compliments. I so easily give like kisses and hugs. And when I was in a relationship that I never got that kind of stuff, it was so weird. And when I would have talks with them about it, like things would be exactly like that. It would be like, I guess I have to do this, or oh, if I don't do this, like you're gonna be mad at me, or you're gonna hate me, and acting like it was a chore and just so fucking annoying. Don't ever date someone that makes you feel like that. Someone said, my jaw dropped and my hand clapped over my mouth when I read that he proposed. The audacity. He did it to manipulate you. Quote, what am I going to tell them? Like, dude, you made this mess. Fuck around and find out. I'm so glad you didn't actually follow through with staying with him after saying yes. I'm so proud of you for leaving. OOP said, I didn't want to say yes, but there were so many people there. It was a very big party in a fancy hall, and everyone was looking at me expectantly. To be honest, I didn't even speak when he proposed. I froze for what felt like ages, and then eventually I just nodded. Wow, huge bullet dodged. I can't believe that he pulled that stunt. I initially thought that you would feign sickness and urge the other three to go out with you. Oh well. If there are any people that matter to you within the friend group, tell them what happened. I, for one, think you did the right thing by moving out. Just bring someone with you when you get your things, quicker and safer. See if you can do it when you know that he won't be there. OP said, I initially wanted to tell the three of them to go out with me, but he would have got mad at me and it would have been a fight, so I ended up just doing this instead. I'm actually stalling getting my stuff. I'm dreading it. No, someone said, send someone else to get your stuff. Would your sister do it, or at least accompany you and shut down any and all conversation between the two of you? I was in a similar situation to you when I had a breakup, but I refused to be home when my boyfriend picked his stuff up, and he took his time picking up his things, hoping to see me again. Eventually, I made a like and said, pick it up by X date, or it's trashed. OP said, my sister wanted to go the very next day and fetch my stuff, but it was a Sunday and I knew he would be home the whole day, so I avoided it. My sister is the opposite of me. Very confrontational, you see, so I don't really want to go with her, lol. She suggested that her husband accompany me this weekend, so I guess I'll do that. Talesia88 said, my girlfriend told me she wants to break up, so I'll propose in a way where she can't say no, and that will fix it. Wait, why is she still breaking up with me? What a toad. I hope she did end up taking her scary sister to get the rest of her stuff. I mean, not only that, but it's like you also didn't even like take into account how your girlfriend would want to be asked or to be proposed to, which is just another terrible red flag. I mean, this guy is just red flags all around, to be honest, and he's so manipulative, and I really hope that he ends up figuring it out before ever getting into another relationship, because he sounds horrid. I would rather die than be in a relationship with this man, truly. But that's the end of the story time. I'm just going to chat with you guys quickly about Love Island because I've been watching it, and if you guys have been watching it, you can stay to chat with me about it. Last night was episode 13. I don't know when this episode is going to come out, but it's going to be probably a few episodes after that. Episode 13, where Huda had her crash out. And let me tell you, yes, did I vote for Jeremiah to be with Iris? Yes. But I knew that Huda would be upset, but genuinely, like, now after episode 13, I am glad that everyone in America voted for Jeremiah and Iris to be together, because I really, really, really think that someone needs to pull Huda aside. At this point, I genuinely feel like it's irresponsible to keep her on this show. I feel like production is extremely irresponsible to keep someone on this show that is so mentally unstable. And I'm not even trying to say that in like a degrading way or anything, because obviously, like, I know how it feels to be mentally unstable. I've been there, done that plenty of times. And I'm so glad that I'm better for it now and I'm medicated, but I actually am so scared, and the behavior that she's exhibiting is genuinely so scary, and you can tell that the other Islanders feel the same way. The other Islanders are so scared. Like, all the girls treat her like she's a patient. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, oh, we have to be very gentle and be like, calm down, it's okay. Like, as if she's a child or something. It's like, That is so scary. And when she's screaming across the yard to Jeremiah saying he's a pussy bitch and stuff, I'm like, dude, first of all, she's making up these delusions in her head, like when she was eavesdropping on their conversation, on Jeremiah's conversation with the guys. And then she went over to the girls being like, he said that he wants to stick it out so that he can win this thing with Iris. And he's using Iris as an scapegoat, which was crazy. An scapegoat. And all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm actually scared that that's what she interpreted out of that conversation, because that is not what he said, even in the slightest. And it just really scares me that she's making those things up in her head. And I just like, I need someone to come in and intervene, especially because if she's having these, like already having these episodes in the show, the episodes that she's going to have when she comes out and sees everyone talking about her and everyone commenting on her, and then she has to watch herself third person and realize what she did, if she ever does realize. And then like, she's going to have to take a serious step back and be like, wait, do I need to get help? Do I need to get evaluated? Like, I genuinely think that it's so serious. And I don't think that I'm being dramatic. I see so many characteristics in her that my sister exhibited, and my sister has a borderline personality disorder. And I see, so, like, honestly, it's almost copy and paste. It's very much, you don't listen to anyone. It's almost like no one else is there, but they are there for you to speak to and for you to crash out and for you to vent and for you to like go be so upset. But it doesn't matter what anyone else says to you. You are just so stuck in your own little world. I don't even know how to explain it really, but I just like see it so much. And I'm not trying to diagnose her, obviously. Like, I'm never going to do that, but I'm just giving my opinion on what I just feel like is the case. And I just feel like it's so relative to how my sister acts. And I can't even get over it. I actually can't. It's like textbook. I'm just scared. And the fact that she has a daughter really, it concerns me. It really does. Because she's very, very, I wouldn't even say immature. I would just say not stable, like unstable. And I feel if production truly cared about their contestants, they wouldn't keep her in the show. But I think we've kind of realized that they kind of don't. I mean, yeah, they can say they give mental health evaluations and they give psychological help and offer therapists and things like that, but the proof really is in the pudding. And it's like, so many people have come out of Love Island just so mentally unwell. Not only that, but there have been multiple unalivings from Love Island. I've watched every single season of Love Island, and I don't remember which season it was in, but it was in the first it was in the first couple seasons. Mike, if you guys are Love Island UK stans and OG Love Island stans, you will know who I'm talking about. And I'm not going to get into the details of it, but he unalived himself in a very, very awful way. And that's so scary. And so did Caroline Flack after she went through that like abuse situation with her partner. I only know like little bits of details with that, but no one deserves that. No one deserves that. Like, there's other people too. I can't remember exactly the other people's names, but other people have also unalived themselves. And it's really scary. And it's really, really like, it's obviously when you go on a TV show, you do have to expect that people are going to talk about you. And you do. And it's so sad to say, but you do have to expect that you're going to get bullies. You're going to get haters. You're going to get trolls. You're going to get people saying awful things to you. And unfortunately, as much as we want to say, guys, don't leave mean comments, don't cyberbully, it's always going to happen because there's always going to be terrible people in the world. As much as we can teach people to not do that, there's always going to be people that do that. In a perfect world, there would be a stop to it, but that's never going to happen. There's never going to be a full stop to that. I get comments all the time that are like so rude and so hateful. And at this point, sometimes I take it personally, and sometimes I'm just like so numb to it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. You're not even real. You're not even real, whatever, blocking you. And I'll never, ever, ever see you in my life. And you won't ever see my page again. So goodbye. But I understand that when it's heaps and heaps and heaps of people coming into your DMs because this is a huge platform that they're on, there's going to be an unimaginable amount of hate, and it's going to be scary. And I think she needs proper attention, psychological attention. So yeah, that's all I have to say right now. And tonight is episode 14, so we'll see what happens. But I'll talk to you guys later. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I love you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the stories that we talked about, and also if you're watching Love Island, let me know what you think about what's going on. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye. My merch is out. Yeah, but this is it. And this comes in pink, black, and white. If you want to get a little cute piece of merch, go grab one. Link is in the description to purchase. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.